Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commentary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out! Good evening and welcome along to tonight's Premier League on TCHub Live. It's Aston Villa against Chelsea, taking place at Villa Park tonight, kicking off in round about 4 or so minutes' time. I'm your match commentator and host of this programme today, Russ Vernon. My producer is, of course, Nicholas Jones. Another man I've got with us as well is Paul James, who's going to be keeping an eye on one of the other 7 kickoffs this evening in the Premier League, as we have got 4 7 kickoffs now. This one here at Villa Park, plus games at the Amex between Brighton and Arsenal. The Craven Cottage is a London derby between Fulham and West Ham United. And the one by Paul's keeping an eye on at the Etihad is Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. Another game tonight at £8:15 in the Premier League is Newcastle versus Manchester United. And we'll keep you bang up to date with all of those as we keep you across all the matches in the Premier League this evening. We've also picked a good game tonight as Chelsea look to undown Liverpool after their defeat last night to Wolves. Aston Villa look to cement the top 4 place in the race for the Champions League and go back above Manchester United, who play later this evening. Right then, let's take a look then at the two teams as we get ready for kick-off, and we'll start off with Aston Villa, who make 3 changes tonight to the side that were beaten the Wolves on Friday evening. Ian Maatsen, Tyrone Mings and Leon Bailey come into the side. They replace Luca Dean, Pau Torres and Jadon Sancho. So the lineup then in full for Aston Villa is Emi Martinez in goal, Cash, Konza, and then the 2 men who have come in, Mings and Maatsen. Louise and Onana in front of the back 4. Leon Bailey's another one who's coming to the side. He starts on the right in place of Jadon Sancho. Morgan Rogers in the 10 and Emi Buendia on the left. And Ollie Watkins leads the line. There's a few, the players have dropped out of the side for Aston Villa tonight, all on the bench. That is Pau Torres, Jadon Sancho and Luca Dean. Now on the bench with Bizot, Lindelof, Barkley, Abraham, Bogard and Alisson Edward, one of the youngsters amongst the Villa ranks today. As for Chelsea, then, as they look set to take on Aston Villa, they have made a few changes as well. Philip Jorgensen comes in between the sticks to replace Rob Sanchez, and Lewis Senior makes a further 3 changes. Wesley Fofana returns to the defence in place of after suspension in place of Mamadou Sarr, who drops down to the bench. Pedro Neto is suspended after being sent off against Arsenal the weekend. Alejandro Garnacho comes in for him. Andre Santos makes way for Malo Gusto, which likely to see Reece James move in to the midfield position. This is how Chelsea line up then in full. Philip Jorgensen starts between the sticks tonight. Is Malo Gusto, Wesley Fofana, Trevor Chalobah and Yoel Atto across the back for Liam Senior. Reece James and Moses Caicedo in front of the back 4. There's Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez and Alejandro Garnacho comes into the side as well. He plays on the left-hand side with João Pedro leading the line. On the bench then for Chelsea is Rob Sanchez, Marco Correa, Tosin Adebayo, Benoit Adoshile, Liam Delap, Andre Santos, Mamadou Sarr, Marguriu and Romeo Lavia. Tonight's match officials in this Premier League encounter, let's bring you those now. Is Jared Giller the referee, assisted by Neil Davis and Steve Meredith. Sam Barrett is a 4th official. James Bell is in VAR, and the assistant VAR is Adrian Holmesy. Players are ready for kick-off in this big game tonight. We'll have a look at the head-to-heads in just a second. But before we do that, let's head across to the Etihad and head a kick-off in that game as well. Paul James is there for us, and he can bring us up to date with the all-important team news.
Thank you, Ross. Yes, good evening from the Etihad Stadium in Manchester. 2 changes for Pep Guardiola. He welcomes back Erling Haaland, 22 goals in 27 games for him. Omar Mamouche drops down to the bench. A late fitness test was failed by Nico O'Reilly, so he misses out. Phil Foden comes in for him. For Nottingham Forest, no wins in 5 league games, remember, really struggling at the moment. They also make 2 changes. The Brazilian Jair Cunha comes in for his first start, really, of the season. He's only made substitution appearances. And Nicholas Dominguez is in for Omari Hutchinson. Kick-off in about 2 minutes' time. The referee today is Darren England from Doncaster.
Thank you very much there, Paul, as we are almost set here and ready to go. They're just going through the final few changes. Chelsea around in a huddle ahead of kick-off in this big Premier League clash today. They're already underway at the Amex and about to get underway, as Paul just said, at the Etihad Stadium tonight as well. We'll take a quick look then, just as they're about to get underway, of the head-to-head stats, which will be appearing on your screen right now. And the head-to-head stats are, as you can see there, 62 wins for Aston Villa, 70 wins for Chelsea, 37 draws between the two sides. And you can see there, Aston Villa won 2-1 in the last meeting between the two sides in the Premier League today. We're about to get this game off and underway. We're already underway in the game at the Etihad, just about to get underway here. And we're now underway in this Premier League encounter. Chelsea on the ball back to Jorgensen through Cole Palmer, who sends it long down for looking for Yao Pedro. Picked up now by Malo Gusto, and Chelsea in their change strip tonight of dark blue shirts. All dark blue tonight for Chelsea, rather than the dark blue as you see on the screen just there at the moment. We'll just see to that in a second. Yao Pedro delivers a cross into the penalty area, which is blocked, and behind for the first corner of the game here at Villa Park in the opening 30 odd seconds in this Premier League encounter tonight. There's an early corner then for Chelsea, who will look to cause a few problems, and they've taken it very, very quickly indeed. Cole Palmer now has it to Moises Caicedo around the corner for Malo Gusto to deliver a cross into the penalty area. Enzo Fernandez heads him down and just wide of the target. A good bit of play by Malo Gusto back into the side tonight, and a brilliant ball in and just headed just right. We'll keep it across. All the other Premier League games are all underway in every single game now in the matches up and down the country, and we'll keep you bang up today when there is a goal to tell you about. We'll tell you about the goals as they go in the Premier League. Now, there's some other matches that took place this week so far, and we'll keep you up to date with all of those this evening as we keep you across all of these. There's been an early chance in the other game, and we'll get to that in a moment, as Chelsea just having to come forward, but Matty Cash just manages to clear up to Ollie Watkins. He gives the ball away, but so does Enzo Fernandez, and Aston Villa with Amadou and Nana gets it through the middle here, and here comes Aston Villa with a wonderful ball through into this right hand side, and Leon Bailey charges down the left hand side into the penalty, and a goal, and Aston Villa have opened the scoring against Chelsea. It's come from Douglas Luiz. It's a fast start by the Villans. In fact, it's Leon Bailey who's got the final touches. It was the man Douglas Luiz. It is Douglas Luiz who's got the final touch. Leon Bailey with the cross in, and an opening goal of the game inside 2 minutes. Well, inside the 3rd minute of this game, and Douglas Luiz it is who has got the opening goal of the game. Wonderful bit of play from Unai Emery's side. Brilliant bit of play. Wonderful bit of movement and wonderful pass it was from the middle of the park out wide to this right hand side from Onana. And then Luiz made that run forward into the penalty area. Lovely one from Leon Bailey. Wonderful come back. And Ollie Watkins left it brilliantly. You see there, Ollie Watkins just about to shoot, but he gets ultimately by Douglas Luiz. He puts it through the legs of Reece James, I believe it is. It is through the legs of Reece James and beyond Philip Yorkson and into the back of the net. And Aston Villa lead here by a 1-0 in the Premier League. There's also been an early chance in the game at the Etihad, which we'll get to in a second. But Douglas Luiz, a fat start there from Aston Villa. And they are leading here against Chelsea. And you've got to say that Villa have deserved it from the way they've started inside the opening 3 minutes of this Premier League encounter. And they're trying to come forward again, but Chelsea have won it bad this time. And it's on halfway with Yorolato can try and win this ball forward. We'll get to Paul in a sec for the early chance and early exchanges of that game in the Premier League from the Etihad, as we keep you bang up to date with all of the games tonight, all of the games, all goalless between all the other sides taking place. Newcastle yet to kick off against Manchester United. This is a 8:15 kick off Chelsea just got the ball out of the back from the Farmer. He gets down wide now. Wonderful ball into Cole Palmer, but he gives the ball away. And Aston Villa have the ball back with Onana back to Tyrone Mings. While Villa have got it out the back with their goalkeeper. Let's just hear about that early chance in the game of the Etihad with Paul James.
Yeah, so Forest starting very brightly, getting the ball down the right-hand side. Igor Jesus whipped in the cross, and a lot of space with Morgan Gibbs-White with a header. He didn't connect on it very well, and in the end it was a very comfortable save for Gianluigi Donnarumma. The Championship chasing Manchester City have been a little slow out of the starting blocks today. They've been trying to create one or two chances themselves, but so far have been really slow. So far, it's 5 minutes gone. It's Manchester City 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. We'll be back with him throughout the afternoon and keep him bang up to date all evening or morning, depending where you're listening from, with that game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. As Aston Villa lead here by a goal against Chelsea. I've got Nacho tries to change that wonderful ball in towards the back. Wonderful save from Emi Martinez to deny João Pedro. Brilliant crossing from Alejandro Garnacho. And a fantastic header by João Pedro. But a wonderful stop, equally as brilliant, by Emi Martinez to keep Aston Villa into the early lead here. As the ball is played forward now to João Pedro again inside the penalty. Now comes out towards the right hand side of the box, in towards Malo Gusto. But there is cleared away by the goal scorer Douglas Luiz behind for a corner. But this is a fast response by Chelsea, and we almost scored an instant response. Wonderful header from João Pedro. Brilliant, fantastic save by Emi Martinez. He heads it down well to João Pedro and he pulls out a brilliant hand to save it. Gusto now with a low cross saying he's blocked. Comes back out to Reece James, who delivers another cross which is blocked by Maatsen. Maatsen can't keep the ball in play and he's behind for yet another Chelsea corner here inside 6 minutes. But a good fast start by Aston Villa, who will lead by a 0. Douglas Luiz with the early goal inside 2 minutes. Wonderful fast start in the Premier League by the Villans here at Villa Park, as the corner will be taken out by Reece James in towards that near post. There's a man gone down inside the penalty. Referee not given anything there. It was a Villa man who went down. It was Onana. Renzo Fernandez now has it for Chelsea. We're ball into Cole Palmer. Maatsen across there to block Reece James. James goes down. No penalty given. And if he's not a penalty, it should be a booking for diving there, in my opinion. As Watkins is fouled by Yorolato and a free kick to Aston Villa. And I think VAR maybe checking this incident on when Reece James went down inside the penalty area. Maatsen saying no, it was under the challenge of Ian Maatsen. We're looking at this again here. For me, it's a slight touch, but not enough for him to go down. And if anything, looking at it from that angle, James makes the contact. He knocks the ball past him and then runs straight into the leg of Ian Maatsen. And the referee and VAR have said no penalty. There's a kick for Chelsea. We've just got this free kick from Aston Villa before we get back over to the Etihad, where there's been yet another chance in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll keep you across that one in just a second. We're senior having a word with the fourth official and also the linesman on that near side, as he's not happy that was not given as a penalty. having a word with Sam Barrett, and I believe that's Neil Davis on that side. There he's having a word with as well. James Bell looked at that, and with Adrian Jones said no penalty. The Aston Villa free kick has been taken, but the flag is up there, and Chelsea have a free kick. There's been another goal in one of the awkward 7 kickoffs to tell you about, and it's come down on the south coast. It's Brighton 0, Arsenal 1. We're just waiting to hear confirmation of the goal scorer for Arsenal in that game. As soon as we get it, we'll let you know. And we have got it now. Bukayo Saka's up on the scoring on 9 minutes for the Gunners, who have gunned down Brighton, the Seagulls, in the early start down on the south coast side of the Amex. Let's head back to the Etihad Stadium to see how Manchester City against Nottingham Forest is getting on, and who had that last chance? Paul James.
Yes, this time Manchester City finally do start to create something. Antoine Semenyo gets himself into the penalty area, just at the corner on the left-hand side. He gets into the penalty area, he strikes a shot really well, but it's into the side netting of Matt Sell's goal. So an opportunity squirm there for Manchester City. We've played 10 minutes, it's Manchester City 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. As Matic Cash gives away a free kick for a foul on Alejandro Garnacho. He tries to get a free kick on this near side of the left, and they've taken it quickly towards that far side, just where the dugout saw here from our camera position and our commentary booth here at Villa Park as we watch this game unfold. There is Trevor Chalobah into Enzo Fernandez, who now finds Wesley Fofana, who can look to try and get out wide to that right hand side. Will it towards Malo Gusto? No, he goes back towards the right hand side and just keeping all the possession of Chelsea. Here's Alejandro Garnacho. Good bit of movement here from Garnacho. Finds Fofana, gets out wide to Gusto. Gusto in field towards James, but it's cut out by Watkins. Now he's got the ball back, and Watkins is charging forward. He goes down under a challenge of Moises Caicedo and Reece James and wins his side a free kick, and it remains Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0, coming up towards 10.5 minutes played here in the game at the Villa Park. Is Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0 on this Wednesday evening Premier League action, as we keep you bang across everything that's happening here tonight in the Premier League as we watch this game here at Villa Park unfold. The ball from Douglas Luiz is spread out towards the end. Matson delivers across into the penalty area. Tony Jorgensen will claim it well and will ball it out now to this right hand side and at their left hand side and at our right hand side as I look. I shall play from right to left in this first half here at Villa Park tonight. Confirmation of the goal I told you about with Bukayo Saka just come on my monitor here as in front of me as well. Here's Aston Villa winning the ball back high up the field, and they're just keeping all the possession. Matson now wide to Luiz, down the line towards Morgan Rogers. Rogers over the top for Matson. Matson heads it back towards Luiz, but he's picked off by Chelsea. But they've put the ball out of play via deflection off Ian Matson, running back into position, and he's out of play for a throw in here to Chelsea. Chelsea tried to build up a bit of momentum now and try and ease their way back into this game. They've not really had much clear-cut chances so far in this game as we watch this game unfold. But if you are joining us, it was 1-0 to Aston Villa, goal by Douglas Luiz after brilliant play by Amadou and Nana to get the ball out wide to Leon Bailey, who pulled the ball back, and Watkins allowed it to run underneath his legs for the on-rushing Douglas Luiz to put into the back of the Chelsea net inside 2 minutes in this Premier League game, as the ball is picked off here well by Leon Bailey again, and he runs down the right hand side in towards Ollie Watkins, who turns into Douglas Luiz, the goal scorer. Now Onana, the ball into Rogers, out wide now to Matty Cash. Buendia this time, and Buendia tries to get the ball through to Matty Cash by a back heel through the legs of Caicedo. Here's Alejandro Garnacho, goes down on the challenge. The referee is giving a free kick at the odds of throwing to Chelsea after Garnacho goes down on the challenge of Amadou Onana, and remains Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0 in the Premier League, coming up towards 13 minutes gone, and it's been a fast-paced start here in the Premier League tonight. We'll keep it across all the other games between Brighton and Arsenal. There's the other only goal of the evening so far. Manchester and Newcastle. Manchester kick off at 8:15. There's two others in the Premier League without a goal so far, between Fulham and West Ham, and the game balls coming for us between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll keep across all of those games this evening as we bring you this game in the race for the Champions League and the top four between Aston Villa and Chelsea, Chelsea are currently sitting, as it stands, with that early goal in the Premier League for Aston Villa. They're sitting 6 points behind Aston Villa and only 3 points behind Liverpool. There now, and Chelsea was 6 points behind, currently 9 points behind now, so I say, then Aston Villa 6 behind Manchester United, who play later against Newcastle in the Premier League at 8:15 this evening. There is one final game tomorrow in the Premier League with Crystal Palace hosting Tottenham Hotspur. Can Tottenham get their first win under Igor Tudor in that Premier League encounter tomorrow night? We'll have to wait and see about that one. We'll have some action from the FA Cup later this week. We have got some results for you, which will give you a half time from the other games taking place today, as well as the ball is played forward by Aston Villa into Ollie Watkins. Good ball into Morgan Rogers, who just loses out to Malo Gusto. He's off his in number. Here's Cole Palmer charging towards the edge of the Villa penalty area. Finds Alejandro Garnacho, the former Manchester United player, back to Cole Palmer. Wonderful save by Emi Martinez. And he pushes that one away and behind for a corner kick to Chelsea. After this corner, we'll head back across to the edge, see if there's been any other chances in the game so far. They've played about a minute or so more than what we have. They can just a little bit ahead of ours here at Villa Park this evening. We played about just over 15 minutes here at Villa Park between Aston Villa and Chelsea, and it's the Villans who lead against the Blues in this Premier League encounter. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0. If you only just joined us, Douglas Luiz's second minute strike, the difference between the two sides thus far, as we watch this ball be taken by Reece James from the set piece in towards that penalty area. João Pedro's in there. So to Fofana, goes down holding his head with a free kick for a foul by Fofana on the number 4 of Aston Villa, which is Ezri Konsa. And there was an elbow in the back of the head of Konsa by Wesley Fofana. And we're just looking at this again. And yes, there was an elbow in the back of the head of Konsa by Fofana. And that's what the referee is penalised for. Fofana back on his feet. He'll have to go off of the field though because of the physios for Chelsea. Because he had a knock on the head, he will have to go off of the field of play for 30 seconds in this game. So too will probably be Ezri Konsa. We'll have to wait and see. Let's just go about any other latest updates in the game at the Etihad. It's Manchester City who are taking on Nottingham Forest, and the man who's watching that one for us is Paul James. Paul, any updates since you were last with us?
Only a half chance really that fell for Manchester City. Bernardo Silva picked up the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box, corner of the 18-yard box on the left-hand side. He struck the shot, it was well wide. But really, Manchester City at the moment have kind of adapted this style of pass, which is the Manchester City way, of course. And at the moment, Forest are just struggling to get possession back and create chances themselves. But at the same time, we're not seeing much from Manchester City either. So we've played 18 minutes. It's still 0-0 here, Ross.
Thank you very much there, Paul. And the man in the crowd there is Phil Parkinson, the Wrexham manager. And I can tell you that next live offering involves his side Wrexham and Chelsea as well. They're taking on each other in the FA Cup on Saturday evening at 5:45 UK time, and we'll be giving you update, full match commentary on that one on Saturday afternoon here on the commentary of Konsa just makes his way off of the field right now. But our next live offering comes from the FA Cup involving Wrexham against Chelsea on Saturday afternoon. Join us for that one from around about 5:40 in the UK. If you're listening from the UK, if you're listening from the UK and listening further afield, just look at what time that kicks off for you, and we'll be on air 5 minutes before the kick-off time in that game for you there. We're just watching this Premier League encounter between Aston Villa and Chelsea. Getting back underway after this short stoppage for head injury for Wesley Fofana and Ezri Konsa. He comes down towards Ollie Watkins, who just is nudged off of the ball there by Reece James, and the ball went out of play. And now allowing the players off of who went off in Konsa and Fofana back onto the field of play. Just will look at this again, and shoulder charge by Reece James, knocking Watkins out of the way to make sure he couldn't get to the ball. And I think anywhere else that was in the middle of the park, and then a free kick, we're not been given near the penalty area in favour of Aston Villa there. Leadia by a goal to 0. There's been another chance in the game, and a good save from one of the keepers of the Etihad. We'll get to that in a moment, as here's Douglas Luiz back to Tyrone Mings, who sends it long downfield and out of play for a throw into Chelsea. Let's head across to the Etihad. Which way is that chance gone, Paul James?
Yeah, so it's gone to Manchester City again, and it was Nottingham Forest, the architect of their own downfall here. Matt Sells failed to clear the ball properly, and of course it fell straight to Erling Haaland. He laid it off to Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's shot, though, was smartly saved by Matt Sells, who made up for that error. We're on 20 minutes here. Manchester City 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you very much, Paul. Still 1-0 here to Aston Villa, as we've just gone into the 20th minute as well. He's back now with Philip Jorgensen, who tries to play out from the back for Chelsea, into Malo Gusto. Wesley Fofana to Malo Gusto, back to Fofana once more as he looks to keep all possession. It remains Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0 in the Premier League. Ato drops the ball back here to Chalobah. Chalobah moves it back here to Jorgensen. On now to Fofana. Fofana will look up here and play the ball forward to Cole Palmer. Back it goes now to Trevor Chalobah outside the penalty area on the left-hand side. Drops it down the line into Enzo Fernandez, who runs towards the halfway line. Further wide to his left for Garnacho. Back to Fernandez, who goes back this time. Midway inside is going off to Chalobah, who now finds Caicedo with the ball over the top. And Cole Palmer's in behind here. Cole Palmer with a chance to equalise. Still has a chance. Back to Garnacho. Effort is blocked and wide for a corner. Decent effort there from Andrew Garnacho. I thought he was going to open up there for Cole Palmer initially. But Ezri Konsa yet again coming across and getting a block in there. There goes and stops the place. Konsa is down again. Wonderful ball over the top by Cole Palmer. I thought he was going to get shut off there, but he took an extra touch, laid it back to Garnacho, and Konsa did a fantastic block with his right boot to deflect him high, wide and behind for a corner kick, which James takes into the penalty area, claimed by Emi Martinez, who can try and ball the ball out, and he has balled the ball out to Douglas Luiz. Luiz gets it forward to Morgan Rogers. Rogers to Buendia. Onana now has it. Out wide to Matty Cash. Cash down the line into Leon Bailey. Just keeps the ball in play. Chelsea said Francis Dalton kept the ball went out, but he manages to keep the ball in play. Good ball back there from Bailey towards Buendia. Now he's back with Ato down the line for Garnacho. Garnacho back inside his own penalty area to Trevor Chalobah on his left hand side. He pulls it down the line to João Pedro, who's dropped all the way back from the striker position onto the left wing to get involved in the game, because he's there really to get involved in the match thus far. It remains Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0. If you're just joining us here this evening as we keep you bang up to date with this Premier League encounter. If you're wondering why we said 22 minutes gone in this game, I'm going to draw 23 minutes gone in this game. This game was at 7:30 kick-off, as was the game of the South Coast between Brighton and Arsenal, where Arsenal lead by a goal to 0 there. It's Garnacho inside the penalty area. Pulled back for Fernandez, whose effort is easily claimed there well by Emi Martinez. Still 0-0 in the game of Craven Cottage between West Ham and Fulham. I believe it's still the same scoreline in the other game as this. Watkins inside the penalty. Only Watkins' shot is saved by Jorgensen. And he rolls the ball out, but the referee stopped the play now. And there's a Chelsea man down on the field. Here is Wesley Fofana, who is down here in the Premier League, and it's Aston Villa leading it by a goal to nil, and wonderful ball over the top in behind here to Ollie Watkins, and the shot was saved. Still another Craven Cottage after 24 minutes there, 24 minutes gone in all the other games as well. There have just been a big chance in the other game then while Wesley Fofana has been looked at by the referee. Let's hear about that big chance from Paul James.
Yes, Ross. Well, the ball was played through from Antoine Semenyo to Erling Haaland. Really good defending by Nikola Milenkovic, but he only managed to clear it to the edge of the area where Antoine Semenyo was waiting. He struck the shot. It was over the crossbar, though. A really golden opportunity with Matt Sells out of position. But City don't take advantage of it. 25 minutes gone. Manchester City 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you very much, Paul. As Fofana's back on his feet and walks off of the pitch to the sidelines where he's going to be off for 30 seconds due to the physios coming on. Just seeing what happened here with Fofana is when Watkins comes to run across, Fofana's trying to block him off, and he just managed to skip away from him and pull his arm away and round to spin away. He may have just caught him, but accidentally there's no foul given there as we watch on his. It looks like he's got something in his eye for Fofana, and there's just wiping his eye there. There's been another big chance in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll hear about that in a moment. Here's Garnacho coming forward for Chelsea though. He slipped, but still managed to get over the ball. There was a cross into the penalty area. Ato Konga now as Bailey clears the ball away. And it's out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. Gusto will look to take it very, very quickly. And just into Reece James. Back he goes now to Fofana. We went down far too easily for my liking when I saw the incident that happened between him and Ollie Watkins a few moments ago. Here's Ato now, who just keeps all the possession back into Chalobah. Let's just got the ball on the back. I'm back with Jorgensen. Let's hear about the other big chance in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. But two, Paul James.
Yes, thank you, Ross. Well, it was a break by Nottingham Forest. The first real chance since the opening minutes. The ball was played through by Elliot Anderson to Morgan Gibbs-White. The skipper had a golden opportunity, almost one-on-one with Donnarumma, but his shot was very, very disappointing, and it's not going to beat a goalkeeper of Donnarumma's quality, who just got down to his left-hand side and made a comfortable save. 0-0, 27 minutes gone.
Thank you very much there, Paul James, as the ball is deflected out here for Aston Villa throwing in their left-back position after they try to come forward from right to left. From left to right in this game, should I say. It's in their traditional colours tonight of claret and blue shirts, white shorts, claret and blue socks. Well, mainly blue socks as the ball is played forward, looking towards Morgan Rogers down the left-hand side. The ball went out of play for a throw into Chelsea, which Malo Gusto will take. That looked like a foul throw from here. It looked like he had 1 foot on the pitch when he took that throw in. Malo Gusto, but he didn't take it from the correct position either. So you'd have to say it was a double foul throw. As now, here comes Chelsea with possession with Garnacho on the left-hand side. He cuts in field and finds Enzo Fernandez just shy of the penalty area. Inside, Moses Caicedo back towards this left-hand side, and Enzo Fernandez will look to keep hold of possession. Fernandez does well across into Fofana. Now back to Caicedo, turns away. Back he goes to Fofana, midway inside the Villa half of the field. Out wide to that right hand side. Then Malo Gusto, back into Reece James. Gusto's hooking the touchline into Cole Palmer. Palmer turns away, and he's forced back to Reece James, just inside, still inside the Aston Villa half of the field, right near the centre circle. In the centre circle now for Chalobah, across this left and Atto in field. It goes to Moses Caicedo, turns and wants to try and play it out wide right. We said the opposite to the left. Good natural, brings it down well on his chest. Takes a penalty, ain't going one way then the other. Low ball in. He deflects a shot. And wonderful block there from Vernon. From not Vernon's effort. I think it was Reece James's effort that was blocked, and he goes out of play here for a throw which Chelsea have taken quickly. Atto has it back in possession, and it remains 1-0 to Aston Villa. Here comes Garnacho charging forward down this left hand side in towards the penalty area. Still going, shot deflected in. Some Chelsea players go through and ball, only a few of them does, and no big song and dance about it. Here comes Moses Caicedo in towards the penalty area, and Martinez makes a save. He's already late due to the run across back by Ian Matson, but he did well to make that save there. Caicedo's ball and he bounces, and he just sees it late. Martinez, just with the 85% possession in the last 5 minutes or so. I've been told by my producer Nick Jones this evening. This is Chelsea's 6th corner of the game, and they're yet to really make one of them count yet. They really need to do that fairly quickly. Corner will be sent in now in towards the penalty area. The final heads it down. Pedro can't get there. Villa manages to clear to Emi Buendia. That's a wonderful ball over the top by Douglas Luiz towards Watkins, but Jorgensen comes out and clears it away. Leon Bailey looking to get on really quickly, as you know, it takes his time. I thought he should have gone with it a bit quicker there, in my opinion, to take it very, very quickly. 30 minutes gone, here's Villa in for a second here. Ollie Watkins, wonderful save from Jorgensen. And tipped over the top of the crossbar from Philip Jorgensen. There has been a goal in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll hear about that in a moment. Watkins may have just been offside, but if the flag didn't go up, it will be a corner kick to Chelsea. We'll watch this corner kick class against Chelsea. Watch this corner first before we go and hear about that opening goal of the game and the Etihad. But which way has that one gone? We'll soon find out for you in just a moment or two's time. That's the 3rd goal of the night in the Premier League that just gone in there at the Etihad. Here's Matson. First of the edge of the penalty for Morgan Rogers. Rogers gets the ball forward, but Chelsea have won the ball back. And here's Garnacho charging forward. It goes down. The referee says free kick, and a yellow card comes out for Matty Cash. And Matty Cash goes into Jared Gillis' notebook and picks up the game's first yellow card for the challenge there on Alejandro Garnacho, and that is a booking there for Matty Cash, who goes into the referee's number. Let's hear about that goal then. And the Etihad, which way has it gone, Paul James?
Yeah, so it's come to the home team, Manchester City, and it's Ryan Cherky's great work down the right-hand side. It was a beautiful chip cross into the middle. Nottingham Forest defending was very, very poor. They left Antoine Semenyo right there, completely unmarked, and it was a comfortable volley smashed past Max Sells in the Forest goal. It's Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0, and Antoine Semenyo is the goal scorer.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. We'll keep you bang up to date. There's a City lead by a goal to 0 against Nottingham Forest, which that game affects both top and bottom half of the Premier League. And with now result, Nottingham Forest remain a point outside of the bottom 3 in that game. Manchester City remain 5 points behind Arsenal, with Arsenal playing a game more and Arsenal winning at Brighton this evening. Still no between West Ham who are away to Fulham in the Premier League. That is the only game tonight which is yet to have a goal in it in the Premier League this evening. Our 2 games that we're covering tonight for you. I've got a goal and so to us of the game of this Amex between Brighton and Arsenal. Arsenal leading by a goal to nil there this evening. We'll keep you bang up to date this evening across the Premier League. We'll stay on air till the end of our match. We won't be able to bring you the full-time score in the game between Manchester United and Newcastle United, because from where it's half-time, that game will just be getting underway. And when we finish that second half, we're getting underway there. So we'll only be able to bring you part updates of that game tonight. For full updates on that one or commentary on that one, you have to find it elsewhere this evening, as we've only got 2 games coming to Aston Villa, charging forward into the penalty. Shot saved by Jorgensen. Morgan Rogers, he was who had that effort there brilliantly. Fantastic bit of work. And the ball was played out by Watkins to Ian Matson. Further wide it went to Rogers, who cut into the penalty, and the shot was saved. And a good effort in the end. There's these comes Enzo Fernandez. It looked like an handball by Fernandez, nothing given as the ball was played through towards Cole Palmer, who just gets there and is cleared away. There's been a goal in the Scottish Premiership tonight. We'll just give you an update on that one. Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1 in the race for the SPFL Scottish Premiership title. There's a ball across, and it's an equaliser for Chelsea. It's João Pedro who has scored for Chelsea. 35 minutes on the clock, and João Pedro has levelled things. Fantastic goal by Chelsea. And this is what happens when you do not pick up men. And we see it to Enzo to keep switched on. We'll look at this piece of play from Chelsea. I think Villa thought there might be an offside in there. Let's just look at this again. Is there an offside in this play? He's very tight. Because he may just be playing him on. And Matson as well. The wonderful ball across from Malo Gusto. And João Pedro didn't miss. Wonderful bit of play. Wonderful ball across. And it's sliding in with João Pedro to level on 35 minutes. Raymond Senior celebrates. And Chelsea are level in this Premier League encounter. We get back underway. I think VAR will be just checking that goal, and there's a man down for Aston Villa as well, receiving some treatment. So while we're waiting for the game to get back underway, as Matty Cash receives some treatment here, let's hear about another chance, and a big one of that, in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. City leading by a goal to nil. And Paul, who had a big chance there, was it City to double or Forest to get back on level terms?
Well, Forest responding very, very well from the goal. Igor Jesus cutting inside the penalty area. He manages to get a shot away, forcing a fantastic save from Gianluigi Donnarumma down to his right-hand side. Nico Williams trying to follow up and appears to have taken a knock from that. He is just on the sidelines at the moment. Don't know whether he's going to come back, but it is still Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0. But Forest have been quite dangerous on the break.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. Aston Villa have got this game back underway. The goal did stand for Chelsea after there was a VAR check for potential offside. But that was cleared fairly quickly. And also there was a potential foul in there. And that was also cleared fairly quickly as well by the VAR, which is good to see them doing it fairly quickly. And for me, accurately as well. Because it did look like, initially I thought could have been off when I saw the replay. Or when you saw it from one angle, which you would have done, seen it from all the angles. You would have been able to see that it was onside. And the goal should be standing. As we bring you bang up to date with the matches here in the Premier League this evening. We'll keep you across all of the games in the Premier League as Chelsea come forward. Cole Palmer into Malo Gusto towards the penalty. Yeah, Pedro is there, and a wonderful stop in the end by Emi Martinez, who has done reasonably well here since that goal has been conceded. his first chance to do since then, but up until the goal from Chelsea, he's not really had much to do as Martinez in this Premier League encounter, which is locked to 1-1 between Aston Villa and Chelsea in the Premier League. We'll keep you across everything that happens in the Premier League tonight, 5 minutes until kick-off of the St James's Park, when Newcastle United are taking on Manchester United this evening. We've got around about 8 or so minutes. Around about 8 or so minutes left until half time in this one. I would say around about that minute due to stoppage time as well. And probably around about the same in all of the other matches that I've played in the Premier League thus far, as the ball is over the top from Aston Villa. Too much on it. And it goes through to the goalkeeper. Latest scores in the Premier League, as you hear in this Premier League encounter: Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 1, is Brighton 0, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0, West Ham 0, Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0, as you heard from Paul James a few moments ago. Newcastle versus Manchester United, a 8:15 kick-off this evening. We'll keep you up to date with that one throughout the programme this evening. Here's Garnacho towards the penalty area. Lovely cross in, takes deflection off of the near post there by Ezri Konsa, puts it wide. He's having a job with Amadou Onana. And normally, if I'm commentating on a Onana chance, or Onana playing football with us, Amadou Onana here, or Onana at Everton, I'd normally do a joke, but I'll spare you from that for this moment in time. I may do it in the second half if the game is not lively enough to tell you about as we watch this game unfolded. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 1 here, as Aston Villa charging forward with Morgan Rogers. He gets into the penalty for Ollie Watkins. Watkins, 2-1 Aston Villa. Aston Villa have retaken the lead. With 4 minutes left to go until half time, and it's Ollie Watkins who has scored the Aston Villa goal to put them back in front against Chelsea. Fantastic bit of play. But what a goal it was. Look at this play from Aston Villa. He started in their own half, played it forward, one ball into Morgan Rogers, and then Rogers looks up. Watkins, is he just onside? Maybe just stop there. He plays in Watkins, who does the rest, but Watkins may have just gone offside. And we haven't just got confirmation, and VAR is checking the goal for a possible offside. Ollie Watkins, 41 minutes. But we're just checking this here for a possible offside. It is tight. It's very, very tight. I can't really tell from this angle. I need to see it from a better angle for me. They are checking it. And I wonder if we'll have a very long stoppage of play, like we did in the Burnley game the other night against Brentford, where one of the goals was chalked off, took 6 minutes. Well, we've had less than a minute here, and I can tell you, it will be chalked off for offside. Will it? Just getting ready to get confirmation. Just going on my screen that it's offside, but yes, we have got confirmation. It is offside. The Watkins goal has been disallowed. We're back to 1-1 in this Premier League encounter. No goal, offside against Ollie Watkins. The correct call. It was indeed there for me. And the all decisions that we've had tonight have been spot on, in my personal opinion. Here is Caicedo towards Reece James. Reece James does well. Gets the ball to Malo Gusto. Back to James again. Reece James with a cross into the penalty area for João Pedro, but good claim by Emi Martinez has been another big chance in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll hear about that in a moment. As here is a wonderful teardown by by Morgan Rogers. He's not fouled there by Cole Palmer. He's found Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez goes down on the challenge of Douglas Luiz, who gives away a free kick this time. Let's hear about that big chance with Paul James.
Yes, and it's Ryan Cherky again who was the provider. He slid the ball through to Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland rounded Matt Sells, but the angle was too tight for Erling Haaland, and he put it into the side of the net. We have about 1 minute to go plus stoppage time at the end of this first half. City still looking the dominant side. Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you very much there, Paul. Jim, we're back with Paul for his half-time update shortly, and unless there's another chance before then or a goal before then we'll get to him even quicker than the half-time, because I think next time we'll hear from him. His half-time, unless there's a chance of another goal in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll keep you bang up to date with this game here, as well as Chelsea on the charge down that far side. Gusto just loses out as here comes Aston Villa with possession. It's inside and given away to Cole Palmer. Palmer in towards the penalty area, still going Cole Palmer against Tyrone Mings, who puts in a good block and gets it behind for a corner kick to Chelsea with less than a minute to go until half time in this game. Douglas Luiz with the opening on 2 minutes for João Pedro equalised on 35. Villa before they got back in front on 41 41 through Watkins, but that goal was disallowed. And I've just been told in the Manchester City game we've got 4 minutes of stoppage time. We're just coming into stoppage time here in this game at Villa Park. So now just waiting to hear 7 minutes of stoppage time. We have got here, not seen it yet. We've just got confirmation now. We've got 8 minutes of stoppage time here at Stamford, here at Villa Park between Aston Villa and Chelsea. Chelsea comes in towards the penalty area. Buendia edits away, and here comes Douglas Luiz. Leon Bailey takes over. Can't find Luiz again. It's Garnacho to pick up possession and turn away. There's been a booking in the game between Man City and Nottingham Forest. We'll hear about that. Let's hear about that now, shall we? Leon Bailey's down and just one shot. Aston Villa a free kick against Chelsea. Paul, who's got booked in your game?
Yes, Nottingham Forest, Ola Aina for a foul on Ryan Cherky. Just bringing him down a couple of yards out, and just before you arrived as well, the ball to Antoine Semenyo down the right-hand side was right across the 6-yard box in that corridor of uncertainty, and just was not able to get the final touch was Erling Haaland. It should have been 2-0 to City, but it's still currently 1-0. We've played a minute and a half of stoppage time.
Thank you very much, Paul. We're into a minute and 20 of stoppage time in this game here between Aston Villa and Chelsea. 1-1 between the two sides. Emi Buendia with possession gets this ball forward. He's picked off and he's coming back at is it for Aston Villa through Fernandez, and now here is Atto, skips inside. Half time has gone at Craven Cottage. Fulham 0, West Ham United 0 in the Premier League there. It's at half time. The game of the Amex is still 1-0 to Arsenal, thanks to Mackay Saka goal on 9 minutes. Still 1-1 in our game here, and as you just said, still 1-0 to Manchester City against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. Some early exchanges is still 0-0 between Newcastle and Manchester United in the Premier League there as well. We'll keep you across everything that is happening tonight here on the commentary of Russ Vernon, your man on the mic for this full match commentary between Aston Villa and Chelsea. Paul James, the man covering Manchester City against Nottingham Forest in a game which affects both ends of the table. Our game affects the race for the Champions League place in the top 4 race as well, with Liverpool dropping points yesterday. A chance for Chelsea to go above them with a victory tonight, or at least get on level points with them as the shot comes in for Atto and he goes wide. the man down there inside the penalty area for Aston Villa. I believe it's Ezri Konsa who's gone down again. I'm just looking at this again. Is it Konsa or is it Onana who's down this time? In fact, it's Onana who's gone down this time. And he just slipped there, Onana, and goes down. Half time in the game of the Amex, Brighton trail by a goal against Arsenal. Nisbet has equalised for Aberdeen against Celtic from the penalty spot in the Scottish Premiership there. As we keep you bang up to date with everything that's happening in those games in that league as well. The Bundesliga, Hamburg 0, Bayer Leverkusen 0 there as well. In La Liga, Vallecano beat Real Oviedo by 3-0 earlier as well. The half-time whistle has gone in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll get across there in just a second for the half-time update. Chelsea have got a free kick here with Moises Caicedo going to take it back to Fofana. Now Trevor Chalobah has it at the back for Chelsea into Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez just knocking the ball around well. And will he go back to his goalkeeper? No, he goes to Fofana, back into Fernandez, just in away from the penalty area of his own box, which has been done by Philip Jorgensen. Back now to Fofana, back into Enzo Fernandez, into Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah looks to get this ball forward. He goes to Garnacho. He's been forced to go back to Chalobah and back to Jorgensen. And while he's back to Jorgensen's feet, let's hand over to the Etihad, where the half-time whistle has gone. Man City are leading against Nottingham Forest. Let's see about that first half in total with Paul James.
Yes, half-time at the Etihad Stadium. It's Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Despite a couple of chances for Nottingham Forest, specifically with Morgan Gibbs-White with a header and Igor Jesus forcing a good save out of Donnarumma, it's largely been a dominated performance by Manchester City, holding possession, creating a couple of chances for themselves with Antoine Semenyo and Erling Haaland coming close. Finally, the goal came from Antoine Semenyo, his 8th goal in 5 games, striking a volley from a cross from Ryan Cherky. And at half-time, it is Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you, Paul. The goal has just been scored here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 2, and it's João Pedro who has scored the goals, put Chelsea into the lead just before half-time. It was a brilliant bit of play from Garnacho. Let's just play through Garnacho in field to Enzo Fernandez. Plays it through, may just be offside, or he could be the foot of Tyrone Mings that keeps him on. João Pedro gets there and jips it over Emi Martinez into the back of the net. VAR will run the rule over this one. Villans are going to sell through offside. A time one like that. Could Chelsea now have the turn to have a goal to sell through offside? João Pedro has put Chelsea 2-1 up, but we will be involved. He's checking this one for offside as well. This one is just as tight as the Ollie Watkins goal as well, and was disallowed. And VAR checking for a possible offside here. With a goal that stands, Chelsea lead by 2-1 now just before half-time. The brace from João Pedro turning this game on its head in the race for top 4. And Chelsea with that victory tonight, if it stays like this, they will will go above Liverpool on goal difference and close the gap to Aston Villa just to 3 points. It's Chelsea lead by 2-1. We're into the closing stages of stoppage time here. At the end of this first period, the ball is sent forward over the top from Aston Villa, but too much on that into Philip Jorgensen. And you've got to say that in this game tonight, just looking at this one again, this is onside. There's Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings, if he cut his toenail, some people will be saying Pedro would have been offside. But Aston Villa are leading, or challenged, let's say, by 2-1. after leading after just 2 minutes. What a game we have witnessed here tonight in the game between Aston Villa and Chelsea in the Premier League. Here is Cole Palmer, right inside of the penalty area. Villa winning back through Maxim. And then Pedro wins a throw-in off of Maxim. As Chelsea look to end this first half strongly. Just inside to Caicedo, back to Reece James. We played over the 8 minutes now, and we're still continuing. Here's Garnacho. Infield, he goes to Fernandez. And Joe Fernandez runs towards the penalty area. Cleared away by Aston Villa. Only as far as Philip Jorgensen. And Jorgensen will take a touch into Trevor Chalobah. Onto Yoel Ato, gets this ball. Falling to Garnacho. Back he goes to Trevor Chalobah. And now here is the ball with Chelsea with Ato back to Chalobah. We played 9 minutes of stoppage time. And Chelsea lead by 2-1. I think it's due to them VAR decisions that we've played a bit more. But there is the half-time whistle at the end of this first period. And Chelsea lead by 2-1 in the Premier League. It was a brace from João Pedro, turning the game on its head after Douglas Luiz opened the scoring after just 2 minutes in the Premier League. Villa thought the goal on 41 Ollie Watkins was disallowed for offside from the red call in the end. But it's half time in the Premier League. It is Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 2. Let's take a look then at the other scores during the half-time break. Starting off with the Premier League from yesterday. If we can please, Nick. Thank you very much. As the the full-time scores from yesterday was AFC Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, Everton 2, Burnley 0, Leeds United 0, Sunderland 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Liverpool 1. And the scores that you've heard there, it is Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 2, Brighton 0, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0, West Ham 0, Man City 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Newcastle 0, Manchester United 0 is the latest score. They've played 12 minutes there. Tottenham against Crystal Palace. I notice it's 19:30 kick-off there tomorrow night. That game is actually 8 o'clock kick-off on Thursday evening in the Premier League. Let's take a look at some other results from some of the action that I've played this week, this midweek so far. If we can please, Nick. Thank you very much. Let's have a look at the scores in the FA Cup. The extra time was Port Vale 1, Bristol City 0. Port Vale will take on Sunderland now in round 5 of the weekend. Ipswich Town 1, Hull City 0 in the Championship. League 1 saw Barnsley 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Exeter City 1, Burton Albion 1. Matt Taylor's first game back in charge at Exeter on the deal till the end of the season. Rome United 0, Mansfield Town 0. In League 2 was Bromley 0, Oldham Athletic 0, Chesterfield 3, Colchester United 0, Grimsby Town 3, Salford City 1, Newport County 3, Tranmere Rovers 1 and Walsall 0, Fleetwood Town 1. So it's half time in our match here in the Premier League. It is Aston Villa who trail by 2-1 against Chelsea. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we're back with the scores, with any updates in the Man United game, and get ready for the start of the second half. Join us shortly. Welcome back to the CommentariTrib's coverage of Aston Villa versus Chelsea. We're waiting the start of the second half between the two sides and wait to see if we've got any half-time changes as well from either side. Also, as we get ready for the start of this second half here at Villa Park, the second half is already underway at the Etihad between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. While we're waiting for the start of the second half to get underway here, we're just getting some news in from the Premier League from a different game. The referee's call of no penalty to Brighton for the challenge by Martinelli on Vifer was checked and confirmed by VAR, who deemed there was not a clear and obvious error. Let's see what they have got to say about a potential penalty that that West Ham should have got against Fulham. If you've not seen it, Calvin Bassey puts his arm out. No, not Bassey. Alex Iwobi puts his arm out. The ball strikes his arm. It's arms away from his body, and it's a clear arm ball. But VAR, of course, says no on ball. But if you get a chance to see it, for me, it's a clear-cut penalty for West Ham United. Nothing given by VAR. Those VAR teams up and down the country, not just in today's game between Fulham and West Ham, but in the Leeds game yesterday, Pascal Struijk was brought down to the floor by Luke Onan, who had arms around the neck. There was an handball by Nunes at the weekend for Man City against Leeds, not given as well. Ryan Cherky stamped on Gruev. Didn't get a red card in that game against Leeds as well. As the game we're here to get back underway, VAR, for me, he's not fit for purpose, in my personal opinion. Behave, Paul. So I've just spoke about an incident between West Ham should have got tonight there as well. And Abib Diarra last night should have been sent off for Sunderland. Scored only on a booking, scored the penalty, and then goes into a crowd. And if you go into a crowd in the Premier League, you should get a yellow card for going into the crowd. The referee didn't give that one either. Paul, what I've just said there is in the rules, and I'll read you the rule when we finish on air. Paul, behave yourself if you wish for information about Arsenal, because Arsenal should have given away a penalty tonight by all accounts. The VAR said no there as well, so we'll have to wait and see. Now, we're just waiting to kick off here at Villa Park at the start of the second half. Let's see about a chance in a game that's already back underway in the second half. Manchester City are taking on Nottingham Forest. Paul James is watching that one for us. And Paul, a chance for Manchester City, I understand.
Yeah, it's a good time as well to save you from all this Leeds propaganda. But Bernardo Silva got into the penalty area and cut inside across the penalty area. He wasn't challenged at all. He struck the shot towards the goalkeeper's right-hand side, and he made an absolutely fantastic save, did Matt Sells. Keeps Nottingham Forest in it, but City starting where they left off. 5 minutes gone in the second half. City 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. All the other games in the Premier League at RP7 are back underway. They'll all finish before us in, as Chelsea just then make their way back out onto the field and play for the second half. They're leading by 2-1. Aston Villa are in the tunnel there, just talking as the Chelsea bench, letting the Villa players go out first before making their way back out for the second, before coming back out to go onto the bench as well. Ollie Watkins and Morgan Rogers talking with Tyrone Mings there as we come out, with the officials making their way out onto the field as well. Looks like no changes there as the in the game between Fulham and West Ham. VAR have overturned the referee's decision of a penalty to Fulham decision is a free kick to West Ham. So West Ham getting a reprieve there against Fulham in the Premier League. That's just an update on that game there from those three-letter words, VAR. There's been a substitution in our game between Aston Villa and Chelsea. Aston Villa have made a change as Villa wanting to get the game back off and underway already. Well, get ready to kick back off. The Chelsea players gather around the centre circle where the ball is. Cole Palmer kicking the ball away, and now Pedro has just stuffed the centre circle spot to stop the second. So before the second half gets underway, they're not, and the Villa players are not happy with Chelsea there. Let's get ready for the start of the second half. We're about to get this game back underway any second now in the Premier League. There's been another chance in the game between Man City and Nottingham Forest. We'll head across there in just a second as this game is about to get underway. We're now back underway for the start of the second half as Ian Matson has position on this left-hand side. Villa going from right to left at the start of this second half as we're back underway for you in the Premier League as we watch this game unfold. Here is Onana, good ball into the path of Konza. There is the substitute who's just come on there, just trying to work out who it is who's just come on there for Aston Villa, just trying to work out who's come on for Villa in that incident there. We're just trying to get confirmation for you there, but Villa have made a substitution at right back here. Pearson Matty Cash has gone off at half time in that game there. We'll give you up to date with that match in the Premier League this evening. And I can tell you Lamine Bagard has come on for Matty Cash. The number 26, Lamine Bagard has come on for Matty Cash at the start of the second half for Chelsea, for Aston Villa. We'll run you through the two sides are on the screen there as we'll run you through them in just a second. Here's Matson there for Aston Villa, back into Morgan Rogers. Reece James almost fouling him, but he's still managed to keep hold of possession, then goes down, no foul given. Enzo Fernandez wins the ball, chipped over the top for Alejandro Garnacho inside the penalty area. Twisting and turning, he slips there, and here is Bagard who's come on. He's on this defensive midfielder, Lamine Bagard, who's come on the left at the back there. There's been another chance in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. We'll get across that in just a second as we watch this Aston Villa tap first. Here comes Ian Matson down the left-hand side. Cuts in field. Wonderful bit of play from Matson. He goes down and wins Aston Villa a free kick foul in by Malo Gusto. We'll just watch the replay of this one. Let's hear about that chance at the Etihad between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. Well, which way's he gone, Paul James?
Well, they keep coming for Manchester City, and this time Ryan Cherky cuts inside the penalty area. A wonderful opportunity and a shot that is blasted over the crossbar. Just as you hear Forest are about to make a substitution, and it looks like coming on for the Reds is Callum Hudson-Odoi, maybe to try to add some speed and breakout for Nottingham Forest. I'll update you with that. I'll just send you back there now. 10 minutes gone in the second half. City 1, Forest 0.
Thank you very much, Paul. As we're to 3 minutes gone in this second half. Here as Aston Villa have a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. Clear free kick for a foul on the Villa left back Ian Matson. It'd be Morgan Rogers who fires it just over the top of the crossbar and into the crowd there. And Aston Villa are trailing by 2-1. Let's run you through then the two sides of the start of the second half. For Aston Villa, it's Martinez, Bagard, Konza, Mings and Matson, Luiz, Onana, Bailey, Rogers, Buendia, Watkins for Chelsea. It is Jorgensen, Gusto, Fofana, Chalobah, Atto, James Caicedo, Palmer, Fernandez, Garnacho, and Pedro is the lineup there as we keep you across everything that happens in the Premier League. We have got another goal in the Premier League to tell you about in a moment, which has come at the Etihad. As Manchester City double their lead, or will Nottingham Forest have it back? We'll find out in a moment. As here comes Aston Villa with possession. We're being forced back into the centre back, and Ezri Konza, who now goes to Emi Martinez. And while Villa at the back with the goalkeeper Martinez, let's hear about that goal and find out which way is he going. Have City double their lead, or a Forest in back at the start of the second half, Paul James?
Well, for all the chances City have had and they've not taken them, they've now been punished. Ola Aina got down the right-hand side and he crossed it towards the back post. It was headed down by Igor Jesus brilliantly, and turning the defender was Morgan Gibbs-Wright. Backheeled the ball cheekily past Gianluigi Donnarumma. Perhaps the Italian wasn't expecting it, but it was a cute little back heel there that confused the goalkeeper. And Forest are level. It's unbelievable that this is virtually nothing throughout the entire game. But with 57 minutes gone, it's Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. So Nottingham Forest back on level terms against Manchester City, which is good news for all in the title race there. Aberdeen 1, Celtic 1 at half-time in the Scottish Premiership tonight. In the Premier League tonight, it's still 0-0 between Newcastle and Manchester United on 34 minutes in the Premier League there as well. We'll keep you updated with that until we finish tonight. Around about 9:15, the latest. As the ball is played over the top into Alejandro Garnacho inside the penalty. Garnacho in round the back, but brilliant challenge. Bad there by Begard. He got back and recovered, defended really, really well. And I think he put it down for a corner. We'll check on this, but this is a good bit of play from Chelsea over the top. Pedro would have been offside. He left it for Garnacho, who was onside. But that's some good piece of defending. And it was a good piece of defending because he went out for a goal kick to Aston Villa from Begard. And he did absolutely fantastic there to tee back off Garnacho, because it looked to me initially that he went out off of the Villa right back for a corner kick to Chelsea. Here comes Chelsea once more with Malo Gusto, who's sent it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Philippe Jorgensen, who now has Wesley Fofana onto his right, and he finds him down the line. He goes to Malo Gusto, who looks to turn away and go back. Confirmation on my monitor of that Nottingham Forest equaliser that Paul James mentioned a few moments ago. Here comes Ian Matson with the ball forward. He gives the ball away, headed forward again. Blew by Aston Villa, this time by Louise. Too much out of Rodgers though, and the ball is banged now in the arms there of Jorgensen, who throws it out to Caicedo. Caicedo running forward. He turns away and back to Reece James, across there to Enzo Fernandez as he looks to come forward. Garnacho back to Fernandez. And if Garnacho continues to play like he has on tonight, he's played brilliantly, I can see him potentially picking up or staying in the Chelsea team once Pedro Neto returns from suspension. As João Pedro goes down on a free kick to Chelsea. Foul on João Pedro by Douglas Luiz. And the referee gives a free kick. Well, let's hear about a yellow card in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. But for which player, Paul James?
Jonathan Murillo of Nottingham Forest. And just as a pass was made to Erling Haaland, Murillo stepped up and knocked Erling Haaland down without any attempt to win the ball. But the referee showed Murillo the yellow card. But Forest are kind of a bit on the up at the moment. They're starting to play very, very well. City preparing two substitutes. It looks like Nathan Ake is one and Jeremy Doku is the other. We're still waiting for confirmation on Callum Hudson-Odoi's substitution at this time. But so far, with an hour gone, it's Manchester City 1, Forest 1.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. So 1-1 there, 2-1 here in favour of Chelsea here at Villa Park. 1-0 Arsenal, 0-0 Fulham and West Ham, and 0-0 looks like Manchester United as the yellow card has been shown there. I believe it's to João Pedro of Chelsea. Excuse me. As he fouled Ezri Konsa. And he shook his head in disgust. He didn't believe that was a yellow card. But the referee did, and that's all that matters. Is what the referee says at the end of the day, not what the players themselves say. There have been a goal in the Premier League as well to tell you about. We'll tell you about that one in a moment. João Pedro comes forward here for Aston Villa. Ball for Chelsea, should I say, to Cole Palmer. Reece James on the other left. James across, pushed out. Palmer's there. 3-1 Chelsea. Chelsea have extended their lead, and it's Cole Palmer. Ice running through his veins, and he has scored yet again for Chelsea. 10 minutes into the second half, and Cole Palmer has scored yet again to extend Chelsea's lead to 3-1. 55 minutes on the clock. What a goal it was. Villa gave the ball away very, very cheaply. Turnover in play. Wonderful run from João Pedro. And João Pedro picked him out brilliantly. He laid it off to Reece James, who put it across, pushed out by Emi Martinez, fired back in, and into the back of the net from Cole Palmer. And that's a fantastic goal from Chelsea, who extend their lead to 3-1. There's been another yellow card in the game between Man City and Nottingham Forest. City leading by 2-1. But the other goal that's going in the Premier League is come at Craven Cottage. And if you're a Leeds United fan listening to this game tonight, you best switch off now. Fulham 0, West Ham United 1. The former Leeds United man, Crysencio Somerville with the goal. As Palmer delivers the ball into the penalty area, too near the goalkeeper Martinez. And Aston Villa trailed by 3-1. Confirmation that João Pedro was booked earlier on as the ball is sent forward, this time looking for Ollie Watkins. But Fofana there defends well as Gusto tidies up and turns away from Watkins, and Chelsea looks to come forward. There's been another yellow card in the game between City and Nottingham Forest. We'll go to there in a second after this attack, which was pulled by Chelsea. And behind Gusto, Villa have a throw which they've taken quickly. But Paul, which way? And there's also been another goal as well. We'll hear about those two in just a second. As a free kick to Chelsea. And then Rodgers goes into the referee's number for kicking the ball away in frustration. But Paul, let's hear about the goal first, and then the yellow card which followed.
Yes, it was a corner on the right-hand side that was swung in towards the back post. Rodri got the header. It beat the goalkeeper, Max Sells. Murillo tried to clear the ball off the line, but only managed to put it in the roof of the net. It's Rodri's goal. It was clearly on target. The Forest players were complaining about potentially a foul in the build-up play to that goal. And Nikola Milenkovic had talked himself into the yellow card, into the referee's notebook for a yellow card. But with 65 minutes gone, City are back in the lead, and it's Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. And not only did, and there was a booking there which was for Morgan Rodgers kicking the ball away, but for me, he's not been booked, but for me, he should have been booked. Enzo Fernandez. He sarcastically clapped the referee, but it's Ollie Watkins inside the penalty area, rounds the goalkeeper and loses his. God, the ball up under his feet, and now Chelsea can break. Cole Palmer, wonderful ball through from Malo Gusto. Gusto balling towards João Pedro's paw, and Martinez makes a wonderful save. Here comes Amid Buendia. Good ball forward. Brilliantly, and it's out of play for a throw-in to Aston Villa. But what a game this has been. What a game this has been. But the goal for one game's going right for Leeds in terms of the game of the Etihad, but not the game at the London Stadium. West Ham now outside of the bottom three. Nottingham Forest drop into the bottom three. Is the survival charge on for West Ham United? Leeds United remaining 15th on 31 points. Despite losing to Sunderland yesterday. Here comes Mings for Aston Villa in this Premier League encounter tonight here at Villa Park, where it's Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 3. And now it's Alwyn with Bagard. Down the line he goes. There, well, into Leon Bailey. Good ball into Bagard again. It was go forward. Bagard pulls the ball back. No handball there from Enzo Fernandez. As some Chelsea fans appealed for it. Conza takes it away quickly into Onana. In now is Douglas Luiz. Ball forward to Buendia. Back close to Luiz again. Now into Ian Matson. Matson attacking the penalty area. His cross is blocked behind for a corner kick. There as we watch this game unfold. Villa with a corner, which will be taken by their goal scorer Douglas Luiz. Buendia is well on the goalkeeper, so too Rodgers. The goalkeeper pushing them two out of the way. And there's a Chelsea man gone down inside the goal here. It's Malo Gusto has gone down inside the goal area. As we just watch this again, Rodgers turns away from Gusto and Gusto falls down. Rodgers didn't do anything wrong there in my opinion. Here's Matson. Corner whipped it. Plus whipped in. Tony Jorgensen though. He throws it out quickly. And Cole Palmer's racing onto this. What a throw that was from Jorgensen. Cole Palmer goes down. No foul given on Cole Palmer. Here's João Pedro. As Chelsea look to extend their lead. Here's Reece James now. Good movement this is into Chalobah back to James again. Looks like there's an handball there. An accidental one by Reece James. Not given by the referee. 61 minutes on the clock is still Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 3, but Aston Villa almost came forward. 4 pass from Rodgers, trying to get Bailey away. Buendia slipped as he tried to get onto the ball as well. Villa are ready in 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 changes here now. And we'll get ready to tell him yet any second now, shall we? Buendia is one of them. He's replaced by Jadon Sancho. Morgan Rodgers is the other one. And he's going to be replaced by... Is it Morgan Rodgers? No, it's Douglas Luiz, Emi Buendia and Leon Bailey off. Ross Barkley. Jadon Sancho. And Eliasson Edward comes on here. So Barkley comes on for Luiz. Sancho comes on for Bailey. And then Edward on for Buendia. All the 3 changes there for Aston Villa in this Premier League encounter here at Villa Park against Chelsea. They'll be updated on your screen in a second, those Aston Villa changes. There's been a penalty claim in the other game. We'll hear about that in a moment from Paul James. This is coming the Manchester City game. Ball is played for these Alejandro Garnacho. Cross. Yeah, Pedro is 4-1. And Chelsea have sealed 3 points now. What a game. Yo, Pedro with an hat-trick. And Chelsea have 4. Wow. What a game. What a game this has been. And Chelsea have 4 goals. And João Pedro has an hat-trick. 34, 45 plus 6, and then 64 minutes. Hat-trick for Pedro, 1 for Cole Palmer. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4, and he's just onside. He's just stays behind the ball. And João Pedro taps it into an empty net and says, thank you very much. It's Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4. There's been a penalty claim in the other game there between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. VAR have cleared it. Let's hear about it, Paul James.
Yes, but it was a through ball to Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland round Matt Sells, and it looks like Sells made contact with him at first glance. But when you look at the replay, you can actually see that it's actually Erling Haaland's foot that makes contact with the goalkeeper's arm, not the other way around. But then Erling Haaland goes down, perhaps tripping over the goalkeeper. The VAR looked at it and I think rightly cleared it. We've got about 17 minutes to go. It's Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
Thank you very much, Paul James. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4, 66 minutes gone here in the Premier League as we watch this game unfold here at Villa Park. And what a game it has been. Chelsea completely utter dominant tonight. And it was 3-1 of this. It was 2-1 of this moment when Watkins went in, tried to round the goalkeeper, and got the ball tangled from in between his feet and couldn't get a strike away. Had he got a strike away and scored, it would have been a completely different game. But after that, Chelsea have got more goals. I can't tell you there's been a goal in the Premier League at St James's Park. Newcastle United are taking on Manchester United and a resurgent Manchester United under Michael Carrick. And I can tell you, in first half stoppage time, the same time that João Pedro scored his second of the game, 45 plus 6, Anthony Gordon has scored a penalty for Newcastle in first half stoppage time to give them a 1-0 lead over Manchester United. Is Newcastle 1, Manchester United 0 there as the Chelsea man has gone down. A yellow card for Ollie Watkins in the midst of all that, as his performance goes down. This Fofana goes down and he just pushes him over there, Ollie Watkins. Definitely yellow card. And for me, he needs to be careful now. Just Ollie Watkins. But Aston Villa, if you're only just joining, it's Aston Villa, as you can see on the screen there, we're 1-0 up after just 2 minutes in this game. But they have turned it around of Chelsea, and they now lead 4-1. Garnacho in behind, but the flag is up against him, and he remains 4-1 in favour of Chelsea. Douglas Luiz there, as you can see on 3 minutes. Pedro 35, 45 plus 6 and 64. Palmer on 55. 4-1 Chelsea lead. 68 minutes on the clock in this one here tonight. There has been another goal in the game at the Etihad Stadium as Reece James runs the ball out of play in our game here. Which way has that goal gone? Paul James can tell us.
Well, would you believe it? Forest just won't go away. And I have to tell you, this was a sensational strike from Anderson. He picks up the ball, he's a good 30 yards out, and he strikes the ball with venom into the bottom left-hand corner of Donnarumma's net. And with 14 minutes to go, Nottingham Forest may be picking up a vital point today. It was a super strike right into the bottom corner. And with 13 minutes to go, it's Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
Thank you very much, Paul James. A vital goal in the race for survival there. And I mentioned there's been a goal at St James's Park when Nooks took the lead. There's been another goal in first half stoppage time at St James's Park. Manchester United, the resurgent Manchester United under Michael Carrick, have responded with an equaliser just before half time. As Nooks 1, Manchester United 1 there in the Premier League this evening. We'll tell you about that one in who's got the goal in that one in just a moment or two's time. And it's Casemiro just 3 minutes after Gordon had put Newcastle 1-0 up in the 9th minute of stoppage time there at St James's Park. As here comes Cole Palmer down this right hand side in towards the penalty area, crossing for João Pedro, over a kick from João Pedro and wide, looking for his 4th goal of the game and Chelsea's 5th. João Pedro there, but he couldn't fire it in. And it's still Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4 in this Premier League encounter. And very, very shortly, I will have to give my player of the match to my producer Nicholas Jones, as Villa make a substitution. Only Watkins has gone off. Tammy Abraham has come on for the Villans here today in the latest change. There's been another double substitution. There's been a double substitution actually, so I know another. There's been a double substitution in the game between Man City and Nottingham Forest. We'll go there in a second. Thomas has now gone to St James's Park. 2 late goals in the first half from Newcastle. Manchester United has made it 1-1 there at half time in the Premier League. Let's hear about the double sub in the moment as Chelsea with João Pedro coming forward. Palmer gives the ball away. Barkley intercepts that time, and now Mings finds Onana, who turns away well into Ross Barkley. Ross Barkley turns away well from Chelsea, but gives the ball away looking for Tammy Abraham. And Garnacho goes down. The referee gives a free kick there. Excuse me. Foul by Bagard. So let's hear about the triple sub. Well, 3 subs have been made in the game of the Etihad, Paul James.
Well, yes, Manchester City have responded by taking off Ryan Aït-Nouri and Phil Foden and replacing them with Abdul Qadir Kasanov and Jeremy Doku. Forest also have made a change. They've taken off Igor Jesus and have brought on the Nigerian hotshot Taiwo Awoniyi. So it's all to play for in the last 10 minutes at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
Thank you very much there, Paul, as Wesley Fofana is down for Chelsea. And this is what I don't like. Fofana has gone down inside the centre circle, injured for Chelsea. All the Chelsea players, rest of the Chelsea players, have just gone across to the sidelines to take on some fluids and get some tactical input from Liam Rosenior. This, for me, should not be allowed to happen. This should not be allowed to happen. I'm amazed that it is allowed to happen, because for me, it should not be allowed. João Pedro there against some waters. the Chelsea dugout staff are speaking to the Chelsea players who have gone across there to get some fluids on board, to give them some tactical input there. Some Villa fans, we've run about 16 minutes or so to go, all leaving here this evening. And Nicholas agrees with my comment there. He says precisely because football doesn't permit timeouts. Paul says they will do in the World Cup. Well, I can understand in the World Cup, so they eat, now to go across to get drinks, but not over in the Premier League when they just take, when someone goes down injured. This is where it baffles me. If someone goes down injured and so they can have a tactical break, he does not. I've only heard there's going to be drinks break if it's warm. But Paul, you have to send me a link after the show, after the commentary, so I can read about that. Because I was told it was only going to be if it's warm, when it's warm weather. There for that one is Romeo Lavia is on the field for Chelsea, just trying to work out who it is who's gone off there for Romeo Lavia. And his Malo Gusto has gone off. Romeo Lavia has come on for Chelsea. In another change, as Chelsea's right back going off for a midfielder, which will see Reece James go back to right back now. Rolling to the penalty area. And there's actually more just kind of say that's gone back to right back for the time being. Although the ball's gone behind for a goal kick to Chelsea. There's been another substitution in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. Which way? Who for this time, Paul?
So it's Manchester City again. They've brought on Savinio, looking to try to get the 3 points here. They've replaced Ryan Cherky, and Savinio is on to add some extra impetus and speed, maybe to try to tackle some of these Nottingham Forest defenders. He must be a little bit tired at this point. It's still 2-2 with 6 minutes to go.
Thank you very much there, Paul James, as we keep you bang up to date with everything that is happening in the Premier League this evening as we watch this game unfold, and we can keep you bang up to date, and we can tell you that one of the goals in the Nottingham Forest game in a second. We'll just look at get across this attack here for Aston Villa first. So we just received some news on one of the goals in the Forest game. The ball whipped in by Max and cleared away by Cole Palmer after initial block by Reece James. Comes out to Ross Barkley on the edge of the penalty area. Back to Tyrone Mings. Villa have got every outfield player inside the Chelsea half of the field. Every Chelsea player back inside their own half. Here is Morgan Rogers. Keep moving the play round well. He goes back here to Konza. Out wide, he goes to Bedard. Now back into Rogers. Good bit of players. Allison gets it forward into Rogers again. Giving the ball away. Can they come forward? Not Aston Villa. They can with Mings on halfway, just over halfway now. And you can tell the second goal there for Manchester City has been given to Rodri. Paul did mention he took a deflection en route. He did believe he was going to be given to Rodri. The Premier League have confirmed the goal has been given to Rodri there. Here comes the move. The ball from Rodgers, giving the ball away as the ball is played forward. Here is Konza heads it forward, break off in play now. A different Aston Villa say we try come forward. Ross Barkley gets it back to Konza on halfway. Moving forward, Villa in fourth, despite losing to Chelsea. Manchester United up into third there this evening with that point, and probably would still stay above Villa, even if Villa don't pick up a few points. The ball in the back, cross goal looking for Abraham from Onana, and he's put behind there as that was Chalobah managed to get it behind there well as it remains Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4 as the ball is in towards the penalty area. And Chelsea making a double substitution here. Coming off is Wesley Fofana for number 4, Tosin Adebayo. And also coming off, which I can tell you about in just a second, is coming off is Fernandez to be replaced by Mark Cucurella. So there is the changes for Chelsea. Fernandez coming off there, so to Wesley Fofana, Mark Cucurella and Tosin Adebayo on in their places. Villa with a corner kick then. I'm surprised Chelsea have done it before the corner kick was taken. Normally, it's when subs like that happen, goals are normally conceded. Here is Ian Matson into Baghdad, who tries to come forward with possession here for Chelsea, who look to keep hold of the ball. Aston Villa just winning well, and here comes Ross Barkley over charging forward. Good ball forward into the penalty area. Morgan Rogers there, he's up behind for a goal kick. It's Allison who was got on the end of that one there. Brilliant bit of run. In the end, Chelsea and Atto giving an high five there to his defensive partners. Wonderful bit of play. Because Atto did brilliantly there, played it back on the man of Chalabar and Cucurella come across to hug him and give him an high five. So too was Philip Jorgensen. And Chelsea now just running down the clock. It's the final 10 minutes of this game. It remains Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4. The player of the match will be given in just a second as you see the score on your screen there. And I've just sent my player of the match across to Nicholas Jones, my trusted producer for this evening. Really good to have Nick producing for us. Very much appreciated. We'll go across to the City game in a moment. It is Chelsea for number 5, and what a save that is from Emi Martinez to deny Alejandro Garnacho. Wonderful breakthrough from Mark Cucurella. He played into Alejandro Garnacho, and Garnacho thinks he's scored to make it by making 5-1 to Chelsea. With a simple tapping. Well, good save. Emi Martinez with his feet to deny the Argentine a goal and a 5th one for Chelsea in the game. Here comes Villa away with possession. Down the left-hand side, and wonderful run this is from Jadon Sancho. Sancho loses out there to Reece James, and that's brilliant defending there. Coming towards the end of the game, in the Etihad, it's still 2-2 between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. In that Manchester United Newcastle game, looks at the player sent off. Ramsey sent off on 45+1 in that game there. Latest scores elsewhere is Brighton 0 or 1. It's a stoppage time of 6 added on, 3 minutes stunning subtime there between Fulham and West Ham is 1-0 to West Ham United. So 2-2 at the end. There's been another double substitution. Let's see about that double substitution. And Paul, give us your reasoning behind giving your player of the match and who it is as well for us, please.
Yeah, certainly. I'll just tell you about the double substitution first. It's one for Forest. Morata and Ryan Yates have come on for Nico Williams and the captain Morgan Gibbs-White, who switches the armband with Ryan Yates. I've decided to give the man of the match to Ryan Cherky today, involved in a lot of chances that City have had. Not able to take most of those chances, Manchester City, and that's why they tied back to 2-2. It was very close between him and Owen Reiner, but Ryan Cherky was involved in a lot of what City did today. So I am giving the player of the match to him. And there is 7 minutes of stoppage time. It's Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
Thank you very much there, Paul James, as we watch the closing stages of this game here. We've got around about just about 6 or so minutes to go until plus stoppages, until the end of this game, as Rodgers gives a ball into the penalty area, cleared away brilliantly there, and it's out of play for the throw. And as we watch this ball, there's Chelsea make another substitution. Yao Pedro is replaced by Liam Delap, the Chelsea hat-trick hero. 3 goals, 5 attempts, 4 shots on target, 1 assist for Yao Pedro today. All round good player. 3 goals, and also coming off is Cole Palmer. For Chelsea, we'll tell you what's coming on for Cole Palmer in a second. Andre Santos is on for Cole Palmer. Liam wears number 9 for Chelsea. Andre Santos wears number 17. We'll just watch this ball from Aston Villa towards the back post. Malcolm creates it away. Breaks now for Allison. Does well, keeps all the possession. Goes infield. Good bit of play into Ross Barkley. Now Jadon Sancho with the ball and clear away. Pierce round ball, nothing given. Push round ball by Chelsea this time, not given either. Konza, let's see run. He gets it from Begard. Now Rodgers with the cross in. Cleared away by Chelsea once more. As Villa power forward. Konza's there. Out of play for a throw. There's been 2 chances in the game towards the end of the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest. Paul, tell them about them, please.
Well, it started off with Nottingham Forest corner. The corner swung in right to the near post. Ryan Yates got there first, and it just went wide. Now, the other chance was Rodri, and there is a VAR penalty check coming up here. There's a couple of things here, so let me just get back to the chance. The ball was chased down the right-hand side here by Savinho. Savinho pulled the ball across. It broke loose from 7 yards out for Rodri. All I had to do was hit the target and it was in. And he didn't. But he was caught, certainly, by a Forest defender after he'd struck the shot, which I think was Elliot Anderson. The referee is looking, the referee is just waiting for a VAR confirmation on this. A yellow card is being issued. There's all sorts of things going on here. A yellow card is going to Max Sells. So I think I'm going to get back to you once I've got... Oh no, it's been waved off. No penalty. VAR have cleared it. So it's Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2. We've played 4 minutes of stoppage time.
Thank you, Paul. As Jadon Sancho with possession now for Aston Villa. Drops it back to Tyrone Mings. Still 4-1 Chelsea as we're coming towards the final 3 minutes plus stoppage time. At the end of this game, as a ball is whipped into the penalty area and is claimed well there by Jorgensen there in the end. As we watch this game unfold, will Aston Villa mount a comeback? I can't see it, but you never know. And Chelsea, or will Chelsea see how this game, which I think they probably will do by now. Celtic have gone 2-1 up against Aberdeen. Nygren on 67 minutes in the Scottish Premiership tonight. Here is the game between Aston Villa and Chelsea. 4-1 is to Chelsea, who lead as Villa just had this ball away, just kept in play by Matson and a play for a throw-in, which goes the way of Chelsea. It remains 4-1 to the home side, to the visitors, should I say, against Chelsea. This is Chelsea. In the next stoppage of play, or when we get into stoppage time, we'll give you the player of the match. The home end is emptying very, very quickly at Villa Park. Their side losing 4-1 to Chelsea. Allison wins the ball back well. We go across to about another chance in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest in just a moment. Villa with a throw-in. Unless you're about that super save, Paul James.
Yes, well, it was a super save, but Sells didn't get credit for it. The free kick from about 25 yards out was curled towards the top corner. Sells got across, got fingertips to it, and turned it over the crossbar. But the officials decided that this was a goal kick. We got 30 seconds left. It's still City 2, Forest 2.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. As West Ham have held on to a vital 1-0 win over Fulham. Crescencio Somerville with the goal there. As in our game here, Ross Vernon with a delivery, delicious delivery into the penalty area. And Tammy Abraham, excuse me, it's onto the crossbar in the end there. And we're coming up towards stoppage time now. So next, when we get to stoppage time, we'll give you the player of the match. For our match today, in next stoppage of play. As we watch this game unfold. Full time at Brighton, Arsenal have held on to a 1-0 victory there, which will be a big result in the title race, especially if City drop points to Nottingham Forest as well. And Jorgensen has gone down here, and under the challenge of Tammy Abraham as we enter 6 minutes of stoppage time. 6 minutes of stoppage time there. As we just see this again from Jorgensen, who tries to play the ball out. He doesn't have two hands on the ball. Tammy Abraham is entitled for me to go for that ball, and he's gone down, holding his face. He doesn't even. Jorgensen, you are cheating. He doesn't even touch your face. Wow. He doesn't even touch your face, Jorgensen. The full-time whistle has gone in the game of the Etihad. We'll hear about that in a second from Paul James. But what we'll do right now is give you the play of the match in a second. As Jorgensen slips as he sends his score kick forward as we play just over towards 2 of the 6 minutes added on. Here's the lap. Ball play through towards Santos. Mings there to try and clear the ball away, and he does so. Downfield he goes there to Ato. We'll just push the ball out of play. And tonight's player of the match here on the contract, sponsored by Football Live, goes to Chelsea's hat-trick hero, number 20, João Pedro. 3 assists, 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 goals, 56% passing accuracy. Player of the match, João Pedro of Chelsea. And the full-time whistle has gone in the game between Manchester City and Nottingham Forest as Chelsea have the ball on the back with Trevor Chalabaria. As I said, over to the Etihad. And Paul James can give us the full-time report.
Yes, full time at the Etihad, but what a closing few minutes. It's Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2. The second half goal by Rodri looked to have settled matters, and then on 76 minutes, Elliot Anderson delivered a venomous strike into the bottom left-hand corner, tying this game up. For all the pressure from Manchester City and all the substitutes, right to the very last second when Murillo cleared one off the line. It's an excellent performance by Nottingham Forest, and this could be vital in their survival in this division. It leaves Arsenal 7 points clear and Spurs 1 point from the drop. It is Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
Thank you very much there to Paul James for his excellent coverage throughout the evening here on the commentary hub. As always, he always puts in a sterling performance, and that's why we love it to have him here on the channel. It's now back with Emi Martinez for Aston Villa. Will try and get a consolation goal and make it a little more maybe towards the end. But because with 3 goals in it, it's very, very safe. This result for Chelsea would say, if they get one back here, it will not be in Spurs. And Paul just mentioned, they take out on Crystal Palace tomorrow night at 8 p.m. in the Premier League in the final game of match week 29, when we will be down to the final stretch, down to the final 9 games of the season after this weekend, after this midweek round of fixtures in the Premier League, as the Premier League season comes towards its conclusion. FA Cup action this weekend, the Ormaton, which we'll tell you about just before we end the show this evening. As we watch this game unfold, Aston Villa with a free kick midway inside the Chelsea half of the field as they look to come forward. Here's Ross Barkley, who does well. He finds Rodgers. Alisson back into Rodgers again. Now Barkley. Bowling towards Abraham, back to Ross Barkley once more. Barkley gets it out right to that far side. He gets it back from that far side. Over on that right hand side is Tim Abraham with the chip, bowling towards the penalty area, looking for Alisson. He's dealt with by Chelsea. They will look to come away with it, and he's got Nacho. He's got Liam Delap and Andre Santos with him. Forced Delap further wide than he would have wanted. But Delap has still got possession. He's trying to get away from Rodgers. And he brings down Matson there. And he wins a free kick to Ian Matson. Well, they can see the close of the game to his close. I would have thought, with the game petering out into the final less than 30 seconds to go now in this game. Around about 20 seconds to go in this Premier League encounters. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4 in the Premier League. If you're just joining us this evening, that goals in an entry from Yao Pedro and Cole Palmer after Douglas Luiz had put Aston Villa into a 1-0 lead in this game tonight. Just getting the word in that there has been 42,084 in attendance. 42,084 in the attendance as the full-time whistle blows here at Villa Park, and Aston Villa have fallen to defeat into a 4-1 defeat at that. A hat-trick from Yao Pedro and one from Cole Palmer did the damage for Chelsea after Douglas Luiz had put Aston Villa into a 1-goal lead after just 2 minutes in the Premier League tonight. We'll round up the scores in just a second or two. But with that result there, and some big results down at the bottom of the table, I can tell you with results as it stands in the Man United game, with that being 1-1, still 1-1 there. The top 4 looks like this: Arsenal first, Man City second, Man United third, Aston Villa 4th, Chelsea 5th, Liverpool 6th, Brentford 7th, Everton 8th, Bournemouth 9th, and Fulham 10th. To the bottom half, Sunderland 11th, Brighton 12th, Newcastle 13th, Palace 14th on 35 points, 2 points behind Newcastle and Brighton. They can go above them with victory over Spurs tomorrow. Leeds United in 15th, Spurs in 16th on 29, a point above the drop there, Spurs. Leeds United 2 points behind Leeds United. Nottingham Forest in 17th, a point behind Spurs. West Ham also a point behind Spurs in the drop zone. Burnley on 9 points from safety now after their defeat yesterday. And Wolves bottom of the league despite beating Liverpool in the Premier League yesterday. That's the Premier League table. Let's read you the full-time scores from the Premier League then, just before we do leave you this evening. And the scores in the Premier League is full-time in the Aston Villa game as well, let me tell you. That game is still not ongoing. That game is also at full-time there. So as it's now just changed to full-time there. Thank you very much. It's full-time then. Bournemouth 0, Brentford 0, Everton 2, Burnley 0, Leeds United 0, Sunderland 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4, Brighton 0, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0, West Ham United 1, Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 2, Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2, so I say not Aston Villa. Aston Villa didn't play 2 games, guys. I just read that one wrong there. And it's still Newcastle 1, Manchester United 1, Newcastle down to 10 men in that game. There, which was 58 minutes on the clock. There, Tottenham against Crystal Palace is tomorrow night's game. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock for that one. Let's take a look at the other scores that we were bringing you from matches that took place this midweek. As well, if we can, please. Here we go. Port Vale 1, Bristol City 0 after extra time in the FA Cup. Port Vale will now host Sunderland in the Championship. Ipswich Town 1, Hull City 0. Barnsley 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1 in League 1. Also in League 1 was Exeter 1, Burton Albion 1, Fulham United 0, Mansfield Town 0. In League 2, Bromley 0, Oldham 0, Chesterfield 3, Colchester United 0, Grimsby 3, Salford 1, Newport 3, Tranmere 1, and Walsall 0, Fleetwood Town 1, also in League 2 this evening. Right then, just before we go, just let me remind you what we've got coming up next on the channel. And next up sees the FA Cup 5th round action at the Racecourse Ground on Saturday, March the 7th, 5:45 is the kickoff for that one. It's Wrexham against Chelsea. Make sure you tune in to that one. That is one you don't want to miss. For that one, we'll be on air at 5:40 UK time, 5:45 kickoff. Make sure you tuned in to that one. And if you're not in the UK, it's 5:45 PM UK time. So take a look at what time it is now. It's coming up to 20 to 10. Take off 4 hours and then add 5 minutes onto that, and that's what time the match will kick off for you on Saturday evening between Wrexham and Chelsea. And we'll have the full match commentary on that one. To its conclusion, we could have extra time and we could have penalties in that one at the racecourse there on Saturday. But for myself, Russ Vernon, from Paul James as well, and from the producer Nicholas Jones, thank you for producing, Nick. Always a pleasure working with you all. As we leave you then with the full-time score in the game in our match at Villa Park. If you could go back to that, please, Nick. And it finished Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4. From myself, Russ, from Paul, and from Nick, have a good rest of your Wednesday. Keep a check where you normally check your football scores if you're not with us for the result of Newcastle against Manchester United. From all of us here, thank you very much for listening. And goodbye to you all. Have a good rest of your Wednesday and a good rest of your week. We'll see you Saturday tea time. Quality here. Goodbye.